I love playing guitar. Took me hours a day for years to get to a place of comfort playing professionally. Doing the same thing over and over again. Slowing things down to get the right rhythm and cadence along with nuances. When you focus on something enough, it will materialize and provide results.
So what are the secrets? How do some of the most successful entrepreneurs find the freedom that we all got into business for in the first place? How did they find the time, energy, and resources to launch and scale strong? And how do entrepreneurs like us align our time, money, and energy in a way that will allow us to reach what we set out to achieve? These are the key questions, and this community will give you the answers. Welcome to the Prosperity Movement.
Welcome to the Prosperity U podcast. I'm your host today. My name is Bryan Chamberland. Today we've got one thing and three parts. The one thing I want to talk about is purpose. The three parts to purpose we are going to cover is vision, focus, and strength in numbers. And by the end of this walkthrough, you're going to learn how to ultimately fulfill your purpose and experience the fulfillment that comes with living out your purpose. So let's start with vision. The reality is, without vision, you're not actually living. There's a quote out there that states, "We shouldn't be afraid of death, but a life unlived." But how do you live? Living is actually to be intentional with the time that you have. Intentional living comes from living out your values. Now, this means taking actions and making decisions that are important to you and true to who you are. Intentional living is something we need to exercise. It's easy to fall off track, but the good news is no matter how far we fall off track, if we are intentional with writing down and revisiting our vision, we can always get back on path, which brings us to focus. Now, focus is something that is required to back engineer a goal or a vision, and it's the ability to compartmentalize what's most important to you. With the right focus, you can become more impactful, but this is not to be confused with the idea of fast, all right? Sometimes to focus is to slow things down so you can ultimately find the right rhythm with what you have in front of you, leading to, of course, becoming faster so you can then speed up. Example, I love playing guitar. Took me hours a day for years to get to a place of comfort playing professionally. Doing the same thing over and over again. Slowing things down to get the right rhythm and cadence along with nuances. When you focus on something enough, it will materialize and provide results. Now, not always the results we want, of course. A lot of us focus more on what we don't want instead of what we do want, which gives us more of what we don't want. Did you ever notice that? This is why it's so important to dwell on what you want and be grateful for what you have and work towards progress in the direction of what's most important to you, which brings us to strength in numbers. Recently, I was reading about draft horses. Super powerful horses. A single draft horse can pull a load of up to 8,000 pounds. Now, what would happen if you hooked up two draft horses to a load? Easy assumption is 16,000 pounds if one draft horse can pull 8,000. Truth is, they can actually pull 3 times as much. The two draft horses that can each pull 8,000 pounds alone can pull 24,000 pounds working together. Now, the two trained horses in tandem can actually pull 32,000 pounds, which is a load 4 times as heavy as either of the horses can pull by themselves. Now, imagine your vision as the load. You're the horse. Reality is, the bigger the vision, the more horses needed to pull it to where it needs to materialize. The trained horses in this case are the amount of people bought in to working towards the same vision and values. Now, the more horses, the more impact and the less work involved in unison. But how do we get more horsepower involved in our vision? Super simple. One word: support. We need to ask for help. Support expedites progress and generates more impact. And the more progress we experience, the more we get a sense of fulfillment. Case in point, get clearer on your vision, write it down, and take action daily. You're not always going to get it right, but you might as well focus on what's important to you and walk towards it every day. One of my best friends, Travis Hunter Hennigan, he shared a quote with me recently. It's better to take action and make a mistake than to not do anything at all. One last gem, a life spent making mistakes is not only more honorable, but more useful than a life spent doing nothing. That's by George Bernard Shaw. Hope you're well. Want to wish you all the best in health, wealth, and relationships. God bless you. That's it for today. Cheers.